Hello friends, this is Raymond Mayfield with Raymond Mayfield Ministries, and I want to talk to you about an encounter with God that I had many years ago. At the age of 16, I experienced a wonderful encounter with the Lord. Had just been saved for a few weeks and had been filled with the Holy Ghost, and was asked to speak to the young people at our church, and I was so nervous that my hand shook. And that was not a very good 5-minute sermon. It's shaking just about like this that I'm shaking today. A pastor who pastored a small church asked me to come and preach at his church. He had a lot of nerve asking me to come down there and preach because I just didn't have much going for me. There was only 2 people besides myself in attendance. And after reading the notes I'd borrowed from my pastor, Robin Byers, who was a wonderful pastor to me in Skellytown, Texas, about 5 minutes into my message, the power of the Holy Ghost came up on me, a wonderful experience, and I began to preach and was amazed at what was happening. The pastor of the church got up. He was so happy. He shouted, and he ran clear out the back door, and you could hear him shouting all around the outside of the church. I've heard a lot of people say I don't believe in shouting, but when you get close to the Lord, you know He can do a lot of great things in your life. After the service, we went to stay with a widow woman and her son, and I called her the widow of Zarephath because she had a son just like the widow of Zarephath, and she kept all the pastors of her house. And her son slept in one room, and he gave up his room to sleep outside. And that night, me and the pastor had an all-night prayer meeting, and the glory of God came down in such a wonderful and glorious way. Praises came forth, and I did not want to stop. This was the most wonderful thing that had ever happened to me in my life. Sammy was the name of the widow's son, came to our room and said, "Now you guys are going to have to keep it quiet." He came back and asked us to be quiet about 3 different times that night because he had to go to work the next day. But the praises of God just kept rolling from our lips. And at that point I knew that I had the call into the ministry. I've never had such a glorious experience like that ever again in my life. I've had some glorious experiences with God before, but that one superseded anything that has ever happened to me in my life. I'm reminded of Acts 1:8 when it says, "But ye shall receive power after the Holy Ghost has come upon you," and you can have this wonderful experience in your life. Just believe God today, and He will fill you to overflowing. This is Raymond Mayfield. Talk to you again soon.